Hello and welcome to another Olikka webinar session. Today we're going to be talking about Amazon WorkSpaces and some of the tools that Olikka has developed to provide you extra value when considering a WorkSpaces solution. I have with me Olikka Senior Consultant Tarun, who has worked on many WorkSpaces projects in the last 2 years, and he will be able to provide you some really good insight into Amazon WorkSpaces and the benefits that you may come across using that solution. A little bit about Olikka. We were founded in 2011 and we're currently 40 staff and growing every single day. And we hope to have 50 plus by the end of the financial year. We are an advanced AWS consulting partner. We've actually just achieved the Navigator program, one of only 3 companies in the world to do that. Our customer base is enterprise and government, and that's where we have a lot of expertise. Traditionally, it's been the integration side, and we are moving with the times and moving in an agile manner to provide transformation for enterprise as well. And you'll see in some of our solutions that we've worked on for WorkSpaces that we are well established in that transformation space. There's a few logos that we've done business with and have really strong relationships with. You can see there's not one particular vertical that they fall into, and they're all varying sizes as well. So, you know, at Olikka, we do have the ability to work with a lot of different enterprises around the country. In terms of customer feedback, we'll go into Census. Census are an AWS customer of ours. And, you know, we've done a lot of good work with those guys. There's some other quotes there from a local council, which we do a lot of work with in that space, as well as a large sort of retail operator there. So there's some kind words from some of our customers. And at this particular point, I'd like to hand over to Tarun, who's going to take you through the WorkSpaces presentation.
Welcome, everyone. So I'll now go through what Amazon WorkSpaces is, how you can leverage the solution to solve some of the challenges that you might be facing in your environments, and how Olikka has made the solution awesome by adding the custom development solution toolkit that Olikka developer team have built in-house. So Amazon WorkSpaces is a managed secure cloud desktop service, which you can use to either provision Windows or Linux workspaces in a few minutes. It's highly scalable, so you can go from a few workspaces to many hundreds or even thousands in a matter of few hours, compared to any traditional solution where it might take you weeks or months. It provides you or your end users persistent VDI experience, which means that there is a one-to-one relationship, so every user has their own individual workspace. And it doesn't provide multi-session where a lot of users are logging into the same compute resources on the back end, which could have some performance impact. So performance-wise, you'll find WorkSpaces to be a great solution. Some of the challenges that WorkSpaces look to solve in the enterprise and even small to mid-scale businesses are bring your own device. So we're finding a lot of enterprise customers are moving into new ways of working initiatives and allowing their talent and their staff to bring their own device. And WorkSpaces allows you to connect from a multitude of devices, whereby users can be on their Windows laptops or desktops or Mac or iOS devices and still be able to access, securely access corporate applications and data. There's growing diversity of workforce. Sometimes enterprise customers come across use cases such as contractors, third-party staff, offshore users who need secure access to corporate applications and data, and they need an easy, with least administration overheads, and a secure way of providing access to that data and applications to those workforce. And Amazon WorkSpaces solves that challenge by allowing to be scalable in a few minutes for any of those use cases. There is a significant tablet adoption whereby users might be working out and about when they're visiting customers, or sometimes from home, or sometimes even on public transport. And WorkSpaces allows access from tablet devices, allowing people to be up and working from anywhere on any supported devices. And obviously keeping the desktop secure by having a central desktop management system whereby you don't need to necessarily touch every single endpoint in your corporation or in your organization. You can keep them secure when they are in your AWS tenant, and you can apply the necessary updates and security updates or any other configuration updates from a central point, rather than having to touch those devices out and about in the field. It is quite simple to use for those who have used VDI solutions in a traditional manner, namely Citrix or VMware View, have known that there's a heavy upfront cost and heavy uplifting when putting in a new greenfields solution. Amazon WorkSpaces takes care of that heavy uplifting, so there's no need of supporting infrastructure because that is all built into the service. And you can pay on demand, so depending on your consumption, if you're looking at using more workspaces this month, you can pay for those workspaces that you've used and tear down or deprovision those workspaces next month if you don't need them. Similarly, you can also satisfy different billing use cases, whereby you might have some part-time staff and they only need to be on the workspaces for a few hours a week. You can pay hourly instead of paying monthly. So there's different billing options to suit different requirements. The way you leverage WorkSpaces service and build up a standard operating environment for your end users to use is quite simple. It follows the traditional golden image methodology, whereby you have a reference image built with your corporate applications and corporate security configurations applied to that golden image. And every single time a new workspace is launched from that golden image, providing everyone the same standard experience. You can obviously go with multiple images as you go with updating your applications throughout the time in future. So you can have multiple image templates to satisfy different use cases. In this regard, we've found with our customers, mostly you need a single image, but every use case is different. So depending on different scenarios, you can go with multiple images as well. Once you have a golden image, you pair it with and we'll go into different hardware bundles in a moment. But just for this slide's benefit, the combination of base image along with the hardware bundle or hardware type creates a bundle. So you have multiple hardware options to choose from. Depending on your needs and requirements, you can go for a much cheaper value bundle, which doesn't give you much compute and resources. Or depending on whether your end users need very high-end compute and resources, you can go with a much larger hardware bundle. Obviously costs more, and you can customize and have some bundle types for a selected type of users and other bundle types for the other users who don't definitely need the high-end resources. So some of the devices that support Amazon WorkSpaces, as you can see, there's a multitude of devices that are supported. So you can be on a desktop, laptop, running Windows, or a Mac OS, or even thin clients or zero clients, as you would call them. And here you can see a number of different graphic and power and other bundle options that you can choose from. Depending on which bundle options you go with or hardware options you go with, you can expect to pay less or more. As I mentioned before, you can have some users sitting on value or standard bundle and other some of the selected users with different requirements, sitting on Power Pro or Graphics Pro bundles that are very much on the expensive side. In all of our deployments, most of the customers have gone with standard bundle and with only a few end users within that organization on Power Pro bundle. You can bring your own license. So by default, the default deployment option allows you to deploy Windows 7 and Windows 10 look and feel workspaces or Linux workspaces. But there are sometimes either licensing requirements or some other feature requirements whereby you need to deploy Windows 10 native, and you can do so. There's a process called bring your own license whereby AWS will require you to provide your own Windows 10 copy of the ISO, which you can upload into a portal, and AWS take care of deploying the dedicated hardware for you. There are certain requirements on minimum number of workspaces required for dedicated deployments. And if you'd like to know more, please get in touch and we can certainly help you get along with your BYOL deployment. Workspaces help you keeping your data secure and available. So no data is stored on the end user devices. You can build certain controls to allow or deny copy clipboard access if you need to. There are 2 drives provided per workspace. There's C drive and D drive. C drive is by default hidden from the user, and D drive is where all the user profile data is stored. In our deployments, we've seen customers asking for even D drive user profile folders to be redirected to some form of cloud storage. In many cases, Microsoft OneDrive, because that's what they've been using on their physical endpoints. This allows for a consistent experience for the end user because they can be on Workspace or working on one of the physical endpoints, managed endpoint from the customer side, and still be able to access data from their OneDrive. And this also helps with keeping data available across multiple devices using cloud storage. By default, the user volume is backed up by Amazon S3 every 12 hours. So in rare occurrences of Workspace going, not behaving, and for any reason, if it needs to be rebuilt from the original base image, you can recover your data from user volume data from 12 hours. And this is currently being looked into whereby you'll be able to back up in a more granular way and putting more control in enterprises' hands to how often that data should be backed up and what should be backed up from that user profile volume. In some of the other security features, you can configure multi-factor authentication on your workspaces. This information is kept up to date on Amazon's website, so you can check on what solutions are currently supported. In most of our deployments, we have configured either customers' existing RSA solution that works with Amazon Workspaces, or we've also configured Microsoft Azure Authenticator MFA solution to be integrated with Workspaces client. That's just a repeat of the previous slide, so I'll skip over that. So obviously telling you that there's multiple devices that are supported by Amazon Workspaces to suit different requirements. When you're building Workspaces bundle, there's a couple of options you can go with. You can either use Amazon provided a service called Workspaces Application Manager, or you can also integrate your existing management tools such as Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, or also called SCCM. As Michael mentioned before, Olikka have been around since 2011 when we were originally founded by our directors. The initial focus was very heavily end user computing focused. So we've come from a deep expertise in SCCM, and that's come in really handy for our customers and all of our WorkSpaces projects, whereby the base image has been automated using SCCM. And not only just the base image, we've had a couple of use cases where customers had requirements on building a base image for 80% of the users, but then also having some of the applications to be deployed after WorkSpaces were launched based on the job role or job function that the users were in. SCCM has come in handy to basically detect what type of user has logged on to their workspace and go back and detect on which job role or which job function they belong to and deploy the applications that they need, basically ensuring that licensed applications or some applications consisting some confidential data aren't made available to users when it's not required. And obviously SCCM can be leveraged for other functions such as hardware inventory, user to device mapping, as well as on-demand application deployment, as well as security patching on a monthly basis. WorkSpaces are available in multiple regions. On the screen, as of November 2018, you can see it's available in 10 regions. For most of our customers, we've been deploying WorkSpaces in the Sydney region, but there are a few customers where we've actually enabled WorkSpaces in multi-regions, namely Sydney, Singapore, Ireland, and Frankfurt. So I'll now take you through some of the case studies and projects that we have already run and completed using Amazon WorkSpaces. One of the first ones I'd like to share is the Census one. Census were already running VMware View solution for the offshore call center partners. And it was running quite well. And the challenge there was to either match or provide better performance as far as users needed to run the applications and conduct business processing applications. As part of this project, WorkSpaces went through a very thorough test case and user acceptance testing, whereby these offshore call centers and offshore business partners went through thorough testing to make sure that WorkSpaces were performing either equal or better than the existing VDI solution. In addition to performance, some of the other outcomes achieved as part of this project were automated provisioning and deprovisioning using Lambda. One of the requirements that came from Census was the ability to automatically provision a number of workspaces rather than having to click through the AWS Management Console. And the way we achieved it was by writing up a custom Lambda function, which will feed from an Active Directory group. So all that was needed for Census service desk was to add any new or existing users into an AD group, and the Lambda will read the new users added to that AD group and automatically provision those workspaces for them. The service or this project saw the existing VMware VDI solution decommissioned over time and successfully transitioned into 500 production WorkSpaces users. And these 500 production users were located in 5 different countries in Southeast Asia. So that tells you that depending on where your WorkSpaces users are located, they can still access WorkSpaces from different countries. And another requirement that came from this project was to have a custom dashboard which served 2 purposes. One purpose was to provide a high-level snapshot or dashboard on how many workspaces were running, how many of those workspaces were in the disconnected state, how many workspaces were experiencing any issues, if any. And the idea of providing that dashboard was to provide some high-level monthly estimates for the management for them to know how much they can expect to be paying for that month, depending on how many workspaces we're running. And secondly, to allow service desks and support staff to be able to log on to this dashboard without having the need to log on to AWS Administration Management Console and provide some of the day-to-day operations through this through this dashboard. So again, Lambda and some of the other AWS services such as S3 came handy in putting together this WorkSpaces dashboard. The next case study that I'd like to go through is Sportsbet. So similar to Census, Sportsbet had a similar requirement where they needed to provide an outsource call center access to Sportsbet applications and data. And this call center was located in Europe. We went in with the project thinking that it's only going to be the one region, but later on during the project we came to know that there were requirements to provide workspaces for other regions as well. And one of the requirements that came up was to enable workspaces in multi-region. So we extended our existing Lambda function that we wrote as part of the Census project to cater for multi-region and automatically provision and deprovision workspaces regardless of which region the users were located in. And we also extended the dashboard to include region information. So anyone from management or from the business can easily go through the dashboard and look at how many workspaces were running in the Sydney region and how many workspaces were running in the European region. Since then, we've delivered a number of other workspaces projects, and we've listed some of the verticals where those workspaces projects have been delivered. So we've delivered, the next project we've delivered was for a retail customer, which is recently founded not many years ago and expanding really quickly globally. And they needed to initially have workspaces deployed in the Sydney region. But right now we're talking to them in extending the same deployment to 3 other regions. We helped one of the councils in Melbourne replace their Citrix solution with Amazon WorkSpaces solution for remote access. And we've helped another council with putting together a WorkSpaces solution to be provided as a DR solution. So this council needed a solution that can scale quickly in order to provide business continuity should the council lost access to their building. And we've also been working with one of the major banks in Australia to pilot and run a proof of concept for Amazon WorkSpaces. Right now, they're considering WorkSpaces solution to be delivered for one of the second use cases. We've helped, so all of the use cases that I've mentioned before were not using the BYOL or dedicated deployment. And one of the projects that we did was using the BYOL, whereby the customer had strict requirements around what type of Windows 10 licensing they used. And this resulted in this customer going and opting for BYOL deployment. Right now, as of November 2018, this process takes somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks from the time you provide your Windows 10 copy, license copy to Amazon, and by the time you'd be able to configure that Windows 10 image fit with your use cases and with your own base image using a hardware bundle. So that's pretty much about the Amazon WorkSpaces solution. How Olikka has made a difference in making the solution even better is by having automated provisioning using serverless computing. So this really takes the manual input or human element out of provisioning workspaces on a day-to-day basis for your new or existing users. So it doesn't require heavy or manual touch from the support staff, and once added in, doesn't require any regular maintenance or upkeep. So really reducing the admin overheads in provisioning workspaces. And we've integrated workspaces solution with existing system management tools such as SCCM. So really building the base image with the default applications that need to go in, along with any configuration settings that need to go into base image that are going to be consistent across every user. We've being experts in Config Manager, we've been able to leverage SCCM and provide that end-to-end automation from base image capture to deployment of any on-demand applications after the workspaces are launched for the users. And one of the requirements that we've had from customers is around being able to charge back some of the costs of running workspaces on a monthly basis to different business units within the organization. And we do that by providing billing and itemized tagging. So every single time we launch a workspace for a user, we work with customers on coming up with ideal billing tags that are applicable in that customer environment, and we tag each workspace with a billing tag, which customers can then easily itemize based on those billing tags and charge back that cost to the to different cost centers within the business. And the Insights dashboard that I just mentioned before provides proactive health monitoring and also allows support staff and service desk staff to be able to log on to the dashboard and do some basic operations such as rebooting the workspaces or changing the bundle from a standard bundle to a power bundle, and also if needed, rebuilding the workspace just in case something is wrong with the workspace and it really needs to be rebuilt. That can also be done from the dashboard itself. In terms of the self-service hub, so this is one of the new innovative solution that Olikka has put together. So self-service hub is a modern, intelligent way to interact with your corporate systems. It is powered by Amazon machine learning, which identifies users by their facial recognition and receives personalized interactions in real time. Self-Service Hub swiftly resolves common support issues without anyone needing to pick up a phone or log a support ticket. So in the AWS services that are powering Self-Service Hub recognize the user from the facial recognition and the voice, and only after authenticating the user log a support case or allow users to do some common day-to-day tasks that normally a support desk or service desk person would be doing. So really reducing those calls or service desk calls down and saving business money. What I would like to do now is go next and play the actual video of the self-service hub so you can actually see yourself, and I'll come back in a minute after the video.
It's frustrating and disruptive to our work, and getting technical support doesn't always solve our problems. That's why we're building a workplace where people can simply ask their devices for help. Meet the Self-Service Hub by Olikka, powered by Amazon. Using AI and smart software, users can have intelligent interactions with enterprise systems in real time. It uses the latest Amazon technology and seamlessly integrates with Amazon WorkSpaces and Alexa for Business.
Alexa, I'd like to speak to the WorkSpaces helper.
Hello, James. How can I help you today?
An intelligent system that uses AWS Deep Lens and Amazon Recognition to verify identity in an instant.
I'm having a little trouble connecting to my workspace.
Your workspace is in a non-responsive state. Would you like me to restart it for you?
Yes, please.
From support to technical requests, users can add extra power to their Amazon workspace when they need it.
Alexa,
Ask the WorkSpaces helper for a faster workspace. Would you like a faster workspace with a speed boost? This will last for 30 days.
Yes, please. Even approvals.
Okay, Anna, I've sent your request to boost your workspace. Once approved, it will apply in a few minutes and last 30 days. Thanks.
Every part of your process can be streamlined and automated.
Unlock my account, please.
Let's create a new workspace. With the self-service hub, problems are solved quicker, with less disruption and need for support tickets, freeing up your IT resources. Olikka and Amazon Web Services have come together to create the future of end-user computing, transforming your business infrastructure through smart design, cloud integrations, and artificial intelligence.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed that video. As we're recording this webinar, this video is about to be played at the AWS reInvent in Las Vegas. So if any of you are going to be catching up on any of the sessions or are in reInvent, so you might have come across this video, or when you're catching up on reInvent sessions through reInvent videos, you might see this video played back again. What I'd like to do now is just take you through our consulting offer only for customers listening to this webinar, which is to run, you can engage Olikka for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what your requirements are. We can come and have a chat with you and discuss what some of the use cases might be in your environment that WorkSpaces can solve, and depending on your requirements, we can either run a proof of concept or a production pilot, depending on different environments or environments of different size, can take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. And what we ask from our customers is to participate in a design workshop with us to go through and really understand the key requirements for that production pilot or whatever the engagement looks like in your case, and provide us access to appropriate technical teams and resources so we can deliver a great outcome for you. If any of you would like to get in touch and ask more questions, feel free to visit our website, olikka.com.au, and let us know when you'd like to get in touch and know more about WorkSpaces. Hope you really enjoyed it. I'll pass you back to Michael Lyons to close it off.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tarun. Some really great content there and strong insight into WorkSpaces and some of the developments that Olikka has created around providing extra value for our customers. As Tarun mentioned, if you've been watching this webinar, you've probably got loads of questions and would like some more information on WorkSpaces and the work that Olikka does in providing those solutions. Get onto our website, onto the Contact Us page, and get in touch, and we can definitely answer those for you. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.